All right, 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Nail. Hello, Aatrox guy. This is a different video. I make this one myself, one take video. You should have already noticed by the title and the thumbnail what this video is gonna be about. I was streaming yesterday, and I have been thinking about the Lethality, Aatrox, Bruiser, Aatrox thing a lot. I've been thinking about it. And I have gotten some more understanding. I am sure some of you guys have seen my YouTube video. I think my second last YouTube video or whatever, where I was basically, in a funny clickbaity way, said how lethality is bait and bad and trash, you know, which I still believe in under context, which wasn't provided by the video, by the original video. Because it's a YouTube video, it was more for entertainment rather than educational. That's why I am here now. Because I feel like I want to record this video. Because I have very high understanding now of lethality and Bruiser on Aatrox. Which I actually didn't have until yesterday. Fun fact, I was streaming yesterday and we had an incident on stream. It's very funny, every time I have an incident, I notice stuff. We had an incident on stream. Bunch of autofill as well. I was filled here and here. Basically, we lost 7 games in a row. And I got tilted and I basically said, F it, screw it. I am going lethality for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. And in those 5 games, I did realize something and I did do some research. And I actually, like, I worked on the understandment, I guess, and the reasoning of why you should take any of the builds. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm sorry for wasting so much time, but let's get right into it. So let's just quickly talk about the good and the bad for both of those builds, okay? Or yeah, both of those playstyles. Let me start it like that. Let me start with the Bruiser build, and let me start with the pros of the Bruiser build. Okay, so let me quickly go over here for that. The pros of the Bruiser build. Okay, Bruiser. Very high healing and durability. I think we all know that. I don't think we need to actually explain that, right? You go these items that heal you for a very high amount. You have a very high HP item pool. You get lots of healing. They synergize with your playstyle. Lots of healing. You don't die. Aatrox, final boss. Good. Number 2. Frontlining enemy cooldowns for your own team. Basically, if you play Bruiser, you can frontline as Aatrox. Your Q is pretty good range. Your QE can catch people, you can knock people, you can start fights, you can bait the enemy's cooldowns. The enemy champions can use their cooldowns on you while you are still alive, because you have the Bruiser items, the Bruiser healing, the Bruiser HP. You can tank a lot of stuff without dying yourself. You can be useful to your team. Number 2. Number 3, better trading and dueling power in the laning phase. The Bruiser items, Eclipse, Sundered Sky, very good for 1v1 and short trades. Pretty good laning phase. Self-explanatory, I think we all know the healing is ridiculous. Sundered Sky, 1 item power spike is huge. Eclipse is cheap with good 1v1, it's good. Number 4, you get rewarded very good, like very hard, for outplays and good lane management. Basically, if you manage to outplay the enemy top laner in your laning phase, you can snowball really hard with your items, and you get rewarded for playing good, for playing better. And number 5, which I probably have something else and other stuff that I forgot, but I just woke up 2 hours ago and I wrote this small little thing, so excuse me. The number 5 I have is good 1v9 potential when you are fed. So if you know, all these comments I get, Nail, I'm always so fed, but I can't carry. Well, if you play Bruiser, you have the highest potential of 1v9ing if your team is bad and you are winning and you're fed. Bruiser build is very good at dragging your teammates across the finish line. It's very good. You can, yeah, I'll talk about that later. Now let me talk about the cons of Bruiser build. the bad stuff about Bruiser build. Number 1, you need a good laning phase to have impact. That's a fact. You need to win lane, you need to kill, or you need an XP lead, or you need a CS lead. You need some type of lead in order to have impact on the game. You need some type of lead. You can't just be 0-0 with the same CS and then expect to be like super useful, because you're not gonna be. Because lots of I mean, it depends. I'm talking about Challenger right now. In Challenger, I play versus ranged Yone or like uninteractive Gragas or Rumble or Fiora, stuff like that. If I'm same level as a Fiora, I lose. Same level as a Yone, I lose. Same level as... Yeah, I lose, basically. Those champions are more useful, and I need a lane. If you play in low elo against like a Bruiser or something, then I guess you can be even and still be better, because if you play versus Nasus or... I can't think... some tank like Mundo or Sion, then you are still gonna be very useful, even if you're not winning super hard. But, so you understand what I mean. You, on average, you need to win and get a lead in order to have impact. So that's one bad thing. Number 2, risky laning phase. Because of that thing, you have a risky laning phase. So you gotta, I mean, it kind of, it's also a good thing, because it kind of forces you to interact with other champions where you can learn and get better. But it is a risky laning phase, and you need to take risks in your lane. You have to. Otherwise, you are not gonna have the lead that you need in order to actually be impactful. Number 3, that's bad. Wave clear is a little bit slow. A little bit. Aatrox got good Qs, good wave clear, AoE. It's a little bit slow. A little bit. Nothing too crazy. Number 4, that's bad. Low objective damage. You basically deal no damage to Nash, no damage to Drakes, no damage to towers, Nexus, inhibitors, no objective damage. It's pretty bad. And number 5, and I think most of you can understand this bad thing about the Bruiser build on Aatrox, or on Aatrox in general, but especially I put this on the Bruiser build. You are very, 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 very useless when you're behind. Aatrox Bruiser build from behind is extremely useless and very, very shit. It's just shit, okay? So I think we all, if you're an Aatrox player, you should know what I'm talking about. Now let me quickly go over the possible build and the build that I take for Bruiser. Right now I like to rush Eclipse into Sundered Sky, Spear of Sojourn, or Aatrox, and then Spirit, and like an optional item, maybe Death Stance, maybe this, maybe that. Basically, Sundered Sky is core, Spear of Sojourn is core, Aatrox is core, and you can go Eclipse early, very early, for 1v1, because Eclipse is pretty good in 1v1. It's very cheap. It's good snowball potential. Eclipse is good early. You can go Eclipse last item as well. You can skip Spirit Visage and just go Eclipse if you don't need the MR. You can go Spirit, because Spirit synergizes very well with your Sundered Sky, Aatrox, and Eclipse. So it depends on your item path. Death Stance, by the way, in general, is a pretty bad item for Bruiser. I'm gonna talk about Death Stance later on again. It's alright. If they're full AD, Death Stance is okay. Usually Death Stance isn't that good. I don't like Death Stance. But whatever. Obviously, sometimes as a Bruiser, you have to go more. I mean, even as Lethality, sometimes you go more. More of Malmortius is, and like Hexdrinker. In my opinion, you don't really buy those items. You don't really buy Hexdrinker unless you need it for the laning phase. That's how I feel about it. It's very weird. You know, if I don't play versus a Akali, Rumble, Gwen, like something like that, if I don't play against that type of champion, I don't feel like I should go more ever. Like, I never really go Sundered Sky, Sojourn, and then buy a Maw. I don't really do that. I either go Hexdrinker for the lane, Sundered Sky, and then I finish the Maw second, and then I continue, or I don't buy it in general. I don't know. I don't like Maw that much. It can be really good. It can have its moments where it's useful, but it is a pretty, you know, 50-50 item. So yeah. Now, should I talk about the runes for Bruiser? I think you should. I should. Let me go here over. Let me go to the client real quick. Rune page. Create a new one real quick. Obviously, Conqueror. We have the Comet rune page for ranged, but let's not talk about this. Let's just talk about the basics. Conqueror, this. Conqueror Triumph is unchangeable. Tenacity is pretty good for the Bruiser because you want as much time where you can use your abilities, auto attacks again. You want the Tenacity to be back in the fight. So that's pretty good. And then Last Stand, also unchanged. You have to go this every time. And then when you play Bruiser, you can actually go, obviously, Second Wind and Bomb Plating, depending on what you need for the laning phase. If it's Poke, Second Wind. If it's all-in, Bomb Plating. And then I like to go Revitalize. Self-explanatory. It boosts your own healing, boosts your own shielding from Aatrox. It boosts the healing from Spirit. It boosts your, it boosts everything. Sundat Sky is amazing. Alright, it works on so many things, especially if you have like an Ivan or a Karma on your team. It even helps their healing and their shielding. So, Revitalize, very good. Then I go double damage and even more Tenacity. Because this isn't so necessary. You don't need HP, because every single item you buy will have HP. Except for Eclipse maybe, but you know what I mean. You get a shit ton of HP, so this is kind of whatever. So you can invest even more in Tenacity and Resilience and Durability. Super, super good. Now, you can also go Taste of Blood or Sudden Impact. Taste of Blood gives you a bit more survivability in lane, more healing, not bad. And Sudden Impact gives you a nice little damage boost for your laning phase as well. You can take this rune if you're like, you can take Domination if it's like an easy laning phase, like a tank or a unmobile Bruiser like Illaoi, Garen, stuff like that, right? Nasus, very slow Bruisers that you can hit very hard. Sudden Impact can work. And the beautiful thing about Domination is this beautiful thing, Ingenious Hunter. Ingenious Hunter, if you don't know what it is, item haste item. You gain 20 item haste and then additional item haste per bounty stack. There's 5 stacks. So 6 times 5 is 30. So you can get up to 50 item haste, which is pretty good because your items will have lower cooldown. Sundat Sky gets reduced from 6 seconds to, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 4 seconds. So you get Sundat Sky 2 seconds earlier, which is very good. You get a earlier Eclipse proc again. Your Aatrox will be up earlier. Your Hex Drinker will be up earlier. If you buy Kennic Ruka, it will be up earlier. It's just good. It also works on your trinkets, so you get wards earlier. Ingenious Hunter with the current Aatrox items, super good. But I would only take this if your laning phase is super forgiving and super easy. If you play versus Fiora, don't take this. If you play versus ranged, I also wouldn't take this because they poke you, you need healing, you need defensive stuff. You know, I think you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, that would be the rune page and the build for the Bruiser and why Bruiser is good and why Bruiser is bad. Alright, I think we got it. Let's move on to the thing that people really care about. Lethality. Lethality. In season 2024, season 14, in the year 2024, the #1 question I get every single stream: what do you think of Lethality? Isn't Lethality better than Bruiser? And when I do play Lethality, they say, why do you play Lethality? I thought Lethality was bad. When Lethality? All the Koreans go Lethality. The pro players go Lethality. Lethality, Lethality, Lethality. Now let me talk about goddamn Lethality. Lethality, as the name says, is lethal. And Lethality has a very bad thing and a very good thing, and it's just, it depends what type of human you are. In the latest YouTube video, where I was flaming, I was joking, but where I was basically telling people that Lethality was bad, it was because of multiple reasons. Number one, because I think low elo players shouldn't play it. And number two, it is not my preferred way of playing Aatrox. The reason why I had that gigantic losing streak with Lethality was because I played Lethality the normal way. No, let me correct it. I played Lethality the same way I played Bruiser, which is not correct. That's not how it works, and I will explain to you in detail later. Let's quickly go over the pros and the cons of Lethality. So what is good about Lethality? What is bad about Lethality? All right, let's start about the good stuff. Number one, I think most people know this already. Better burst versus squishy carries. You deal more damage to ADCs, more damage to squishy mages, although mages aren't really squishy, but you know what I mean. You burst squishy targets faster. They die faster. Sorry. Number two, that's good. Better wave clear. What do you want me to say? It's better wave clear. You clear faster, you push side lane faster, you get better momentum into your macro, you get better, just better management of the map in terms of pushing. It's just better wave clear. Number two. Number three, you get rewarded for playing safe in your lane. Playing safe in your lane gets rewarded later on if you play Lethality. You don't have to fight in Lethality. You don't have any time pressure if you play Lethality like you have with a Bruiser build. So if you play safe, you get rewarded for that. Number four, it's a good, I said good team complementary. And what I mean by that is that it is a nice little accent, I guess, for your team to be Lethality. It's good for teams in terms of joining the team. It's good. I don't know how to explain it, but I'll talk about it later anyways. It is a good complement to your team if you have a team. Number five, what was bad about Bruiser was objective damage. Lethality, you get pretty good objective damage. Good damage on tower, good damage on Drake, good damage on inhibitors, good damage on Nexus, Nash good damage, Drake good damage, blah blah blah. Objectives, better damage. You deal more damage on objectives. So yeah. And number six, six. The number six good thing about Lethality is pretty big actually, and it is you can be useful even when you're behind. The Bruiser build doesn't have that. If you're behind on Lethality, you can still be useful. So, yeah. Maybe I missed something. Like I said, I'm currently improvising pretty much. If you know something, let me know in the comments. Tell me if I missed something. So, yeah. And now let's go to the bad stuff about Lethality. The cons, the bad stuff. Number one about Lethality that's bad. You're squishy. It's a squishy build. Obviously. You're just very, very squishy. Number two, lower average healing. You can heal with Lethality because of the high damage. Because Aatrox's healing, his own healing, scales with damage. So the more damage you deal, the more you burst, the more you heal. But it's a low average healing. On average, you don't heal that much. If you're just skirmishing a bit, you don't heal. If you get poked out by minions, you don't really heal. You know what I mean? Like, it's on average, it's pretty low healing. So that's pretty bad. Number three, weaker trades and duels. Lethality is not that good in 1v1s in laning phases, especially after first item. The Bruiser items spike much harder on the first item. Much harder. So if you play Lethality versus a Bruiser that buys Bruiser items, you will most likely get your ass beaten by the Bruiser item. So it's a weaker trading duel. So that's the thing. And number four, it's pretty bad 1v9 potential. It's not like with the Bruiser where you can 1v9 and go crazy all by yourself. It's not really that good because the Lethality build, I will talk about it, has a different personality. It is a different personality. So bad 1v9 potential. And the number five issue with Lethality is that it can, will, or could be complicated with no proper team setup. Basically no engagers or frontliners, because you don't frontline with this build. That was my mistake that I made, right? That's why I didn't have any success with Lethality, because I played Lethality like I play Bruiser, which is frontline, and that sucks. So you're kind of dependent on your team. I will talk about it later. Let's go over the build of Lethality, right? The Lethality build. I just copy the classic build. Everyone does it. Some people have other items. I don't know what these other items are called. These Lethality. I don't buy those, okay? I just go with the classic Profane Hydra, Edge of Night, Zerilda's Grudge, Aatrox, and then you go like... Some people go Opportunity last item. You can go Death Stands last item. Maybe some other Lethality item, but whatever, right? But I think the main gist is Profane Hydra, Edge of Night, Zerilda's. The other two, yeah, Aatrox is pretty good. You can go more if you need it in the laning phase. Opportunity is even more snowball, movement speed, blah, 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 Lethality. Death Stance does give you more survivability. It's an optional thing. You can check it out yourself. You can go situational for every game, whatever. But again, Profane Hydra, Edge of Night, Zerilda's. Pretty good. Okay, that was the build. Now let's go to the rune page of Lethality. What rune page? Let me delete this. This is basically the rune page for Lethality, and I will explain to you why. Obviously, Conqueror the same, Triumph the same. You need Legend Alacrity. You have to take it. This isn't a choice. This isn't a, oh, this feels good, this feels... No, you need Legend Alacrity. I will explain to you in a second. Second Wind Bone Plating is actually unchanged. You can take this whatever you want. Sure. And then the pro players do this, and I explain why. You need Overgrowth, because Profane Hydra has no HP. Yeah, it has no HP. And the Lethality items on average have lower HP. The Edge of Night is the only item with HP. It's good HP, but it's the only one. For the first three items, you go Profane, Edge of Night, Zerilda's. Only Edge of Night has HP. So with Overgrowth, you get like, on average, like later on into the game, you get like 150 to 200 HP, which is actually quite good. And then you go health scaling, because, like I said, you need more HP. Some pro players go 65 health early game. You do outscale this, though, after level 6. And if you're shit at early laning and you get poked out in lane, I guess this is okay. But I don't really know why you would do this, because with Lethality, you're not allowed to fight a lot in lane anyways. So I don't know why you would take this when this performs better after level 6. You know. And I don't need this anymore, because 10% is not gonna do anything, guys. Okay? This is only good if you combine it and you stack it. So, health. More utility and health is better. Not utility. More survivability and early scaling with HP is much better than tenacity here, because you need it. Did I explain why you need Alacrity? No, I'll explain to you now. Why do you need Alacrity? Well, nice viewer, you need Alacrity because Profane Hydra is a Tiamat item. Tiamat is an active. You know, when you press 1, your Tiamat activates, your Profane Hydra activates. And it scales the speed of the activation channel. So when you press the button and when it actually happens, the channel scales with attack speed. So if you take this instead, your Profane Hydra will be in slow motion, which means your burst will be in slow motion. It will be slower burst. With this, you can quickly fire away passive burst. Let's go. Quickly, very quickly. You need the quick, right? You need burst. You go Lethality. That's your rune page. So, yeah. I think I took everything informationally, right? I think I went over everything. Did I forget anything? No, I know. I took this build rune page. Okay. Now, here's the thing, guys. When or why should you do what you do with the builds? Like I said, the Bruiser build is good, especially in low elo, because when you're fed, you can carry harder, you can heal a lot, you can drain so much damage from the enemy team that your teammates have no chance but to win the team fight. That's the good thing about Bruiser Aatrox. You can walk in like a final boss and just go crazy all on your own, which basically enables your team to carry. So I think if you're below Master, I still wouldn't recommend you to go Lethality. Okay, I really don't. So I'm still standing on my opinion that lethality is not good in terms of that. Okay. And I also believe I would climb much better if I was a like I think I would climb faster with the Bruiser build if I were to go from low elo to high elo. Now here's the thing with lethality. Lethality has a different playstyle. It's an absolute different playstyle, and it's a different mental picture when you play Aatrox. And I will show you examples, by the way, from yesterday's stream and also from pro play. Actually, let me just show you. Why am I even talking? Give me 1 second. Here is a moment on my last stream where I was lethality. I had Profane Hydra and Edge of Night, right? I was defending top lane from this Huawei, and I'm TPing to my bot lane because my teammates have started a fight. Okay? They're using abilities. He used ulti, blah, 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 fighting, CC, poking, everything is happening, and I joined the fight. And I ulti in. I know my team is winning already, but I basically join, burst the Braum, take this guy, burst him. You know, he's a bit tanky. It takes a bit longer. I could have activated. I could have killed him much faster, but I bought time. I killed him. I TP'd to the fight. I flanked the fight. All right? Okay. Pretty bad example, but I joined the fight. I didn't start the fight. I joined it. Another moment right here. I'm standing pretty back. I'm trying to look for an angle on the side. My Maokai has an ulti. Rel jumped in. I see that Huawei dispositioned, and I am first targeting him. Boom. Pretty high damage. Good crit. 800 damage. He had a shield. It got blown up. My team is already fighting. They're already using cooldowns. I am joining the fight now. Quickly burst the Jinx with a E. Profane Hydra auto attack. Super high damage. She's dead. And we just continue chasing. I think the Volibear gets away. But that was another good fight. Another moment, which was... This is, I think, the best example. Technically, it was still from the same game. But it was a pretty good example. Oops, I'm sorry. You see my positioning. I have 4 items. I am squishy. 3.5k HP is a lot, but I am squishy. And I literally say I will not be the frontline, which I won't be. The Braum ulted. I'm literally standing behind the Cassiopeia. The Cassiopeia did a very good flash engage, which was my sign to go in. And I do go in. By the way, the Edge of Night blocked the Jinx trap, which is very cool. I could just walk through it. Then I go in. The closest target I see is the Braum, because the Jinx already got away. She used Summoners or whatever. Then I go on the Braum. I use my combo, take this, and I instantly get out. I don't continue because I don't heal. I would die from the tower. But I get the resets, and then I still always... You see how I kite back? Like, I just kite back. The guy jumps him, I kite back, I Q. It's pretty good burst. And I also heal decent amounts. Yeah, it works. You know? I just played back. I basically was at the same height as my Cassiopeia. And I let the Cassiopeia be on front. I let the Maokai be on front. You can't see, but I let the Rel be on front. The Rel is on top, like over here. I let them be on front. Like, this positioning is unusual positioning for a Bruiser Aatrox. This is how you play lethality. You have to stand back. And this was my mistake that I did. If I was playing... you know, if I was playing Bruiser, I would be right here. Sorry, if I was having my older playstyle, I would be taking this build and I would be standing right here and I would either be getting caught or trying to engage. And even if I hit a full combo, I'm gonna die. And it's not gonna be useful. So I have to wait until something like this happens for the Cassiopeia, and then I join and I look for an angle on the Braum. Because even though the Braum is pretty tanky, I dealt like this amount of damage. Obviously, I don't know, but I highly doubt that I would deal that much damage to the Braum if this was a Bruiser build. Now, with the Bruiser build, I could probably stay inside and try to heal more, but the Braum dies now, and we get the reset and the snowball for the fight and everybody else. So that's a different way of looking at it. So this was my moments I had from one stream, by the way. This was the only stream I really played lethality in a focused way. So I don't have a lot of video material anyway, so I apologize for that. But I have a perfect example from pro play. And this was T1, because people love to talk about Zeus. So I specifically looked for a game where Zeus was playing Aatrox, and I found the perfect moment. It was the game from, it was game 1 from T1 versus KT. I don't know what team that is. KT team. I don't know. What, Rolster? I think that's it, right? So basically, it's a team fight at the Nash. Come on, man. It's a team fight at the Nash, right? And the Aatrox, Zeus, is TPing into the Nash fight. Or the Nash moment. Let me quickly mute the thing. So he's teleporting in, okay? And here's the thing. This is perfect analysis. They have Poppy and Nautilus, which are the engagers. They can engage. And look at the Aatrox. Look at Zeus. If it was Bruiser Aatrox, if it was me, I would be walking where the Nautilus was walking over here to look for a QW on a potential target over here. Which does have a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is I can be tanking for my Corki and for my Senna, right? But the bad thing would be is I also have a high chance of getting killed. Because I'm on the front line, I might die. And another thing is Aatrox W got nerfed. It's not a bug fix, it's a fucking nerf, okay? It was like this the entire time. Now it doesn't pull even less. It pulls even less now than it did before. I don't care. It's not a bug if it was in the game for the entire time and Riot randomly decides, well, we're gonna nerf it all now. It's, yeah, well, we fixed it, but the fixing makes it pull 0.25 seconds later than it should be. So it's a nerf, guys, okay? It's a nerf. Sure, they fixed it, but it nerfed the ability, okay? Good. So, like I said, if you're on the front line now with Aatrox, it's also kind of hard to catch people like a support would, because you don't have Zerillas anymore that slows you from 100 HP. It doesn't slow anymore, only from low HP. So you can't really slow people with your abilities. And W doesn't even pull anymore, so frontlining Aatrox isn't as successful as it used to be. But I'm yapping a lot. Basically, if I played Bruiser, I would be here on this area with the Nautilus, right there. And look what Zeus does, and look what you should do. Look at him. He doesn't walk with the Nautilus on the front line or the Poppy on the front line with the main entrance. He goes to the side. And he doesn't engage. He doesn't look for a fight here. He's waiting. What is he waiting for? Ah! She's flashing in and fighting. Okay. Oh, they're all engaging. Oh, they use their cooldowns. Oh, okay. Well, now it's his time. Now the Xin Zhao is alone. Now let's go one by one. Quickly burst him. High damage. He's dead. Now basically they all use their abilities without Aatrox even doing anything. They all use the abilities versus Poppy, Nautilus, Senna, Corki. Aatrox hasn't even interacted with anyone for the entire fight. But this Xin Zhao was alone, so he bursted him real quick. Bursted him down. Now, they chase because Aatrox reset, right? And they have no cooldowns, the enemy team. No cooldowns at all. And now it's just free game for Aatrox. Look at this shit. He just goes in. Boom. One hit. Completely one hit. Sorry, it was lagging. Let me quickly go back. I apologize. Just, again. Flashes in. Q2 flash. Dead. Why is it? Is that really a bug? Damn, the VOD is actually bugged. Basically, you go in, you just one-hit the backline. No big deal. Triple kill. Finished. Before this fight, Zeus didn't do anything, by the way. He was 1-0-1 before this fight. So he played safe the entire game, did nothing the entire game, and then he waited for the enemy team to start a fight, and then they went in. Now, I know KT is the superior team. I know they were already winning. But I'm just showing you this to give you an idea of how Lethality is played and why pro players play it, because pro players actually draft for this. They draft for this playstyle. They want to play Aatrox like this. That's what they wanna do. Okay, so for everyone asking why do pro players do it, this is why. They are drafting for it. It makes sense. Let me try again if it lags or if it actually shows the fight. Yeah, it's actually just lagging in the VOD, which is very sad. But you can imagine how he kills them. I think that's just a passive auto attack, and then him with the item, you know. Yeah, one shot, right? Dead. Also, with the level lead in solo laners versus bot laners is huge. So you get even more damage from that. Now, let's quickly analyze this whole thing. I think I gave some good examples of why Lethality works, and why Bruiser works, and why Bruiser doesn't work, and why Lethality doesn't work. I gave some good examples. Now here's the thing. You are not a pro player. I am not a pro player. And most of you guys aren't in Challenger. I am in Challenger sometimes. Now I'm Grandmaster, but you know, you can joke about it. And there is multiple things we have to talk about the build and what you should do. You could be like, now after like listening for me, I've been talking for 36 minutes. After listening to me, you could be like, well, Nail, then why don't you just play Lethality when it's good and play Bruiser when it's good? Now that is the question. Sure, I hear you, I get it, but you can play Lethality playstyle always. Like, even if you have a full range team, squishy team, you can play like that. You just have to wait for the enemy to engage on your squishy team. Now, maybe that's bad. And maybe you should be a frontliner for your squishy team. And maybe just dive for your team and they clean up after you soak all of the objectives, all of the cooldowns and all of the spells, right? It's very hard for me to actually say if you should go situationally, if you always should go Bruiser, if you always should go Lethality. It's hard. I don't have enough experience so far to actually tell you if you should go situational playstyle or if you should always go Bruiser or always go Lethality. They obviously have two jobs which are majorly different, and both of them works. On average, I would say for low elo, going Bruiser is 100 times more safe than going Lethality. That's for sure. If you want to learn Aatrox, if you're new to Aatrox, I wouldn't recommend you going Lethality at all. But I just want to talk about Lethality because it has its place in the game, and maybe it's good for high elo. Because I've been losing my mind in high elo. I hate this game in high elo. Like, Masters is so much more fun than high elo. So perhaps I'm gonna be playing a bit more Lethality in the future. But don't take this as a sign that you should do it as well. Because it isn't like the Eclipse build. Because the Eclipse build was Lethality and Bruiser at the same time. You know what I mean? The Duskblade build was... Well, no, the Duskblade build was actually pretty similar to this one. Where you played like an assassin and where you waited for the engage to happen. But yeah, Bruiser is overall more safe. Another thing people tell me is mixing Lethality with Bruiser items. Like, oh, you should go Profane Hydra and then go Sundered Sky. No. That is garbage. That is terrible because you don't really have the burst from Lethality and you're taking away the potential survivability and healing from the Bruiser build. Don't mix, okay? You either go Bruiser or you go Lethality. Don't mix it up. It's terrible, okay? Don't do it. You could also just make the point that one-tricking Aatrox is probably a bad idea. I probably shouldn't one-trick, you know? I probably have this complicated problem only because I am a one-trick, right? You know, maybe I just shouldn't pick Aatrox when I have a full squishy team. That is probably the right idea. But fuck you, I don't care. But yeah, like I said, obviously I am biased a bit. And I play Aatrox when you probably shouldn't play Aatrox. I'm just trying to find the most consistent performance, right? And yeah. That is probably a bad idea for me that I'm one-tricking him in high elo. And maybe the games I lose because I play versus Karma top lane that does nothing for 20 minutes, maybe I deserve to lose those games, right? I don't know. I have a different opinion. I think if you play that type of stuff, you shouldn't be playing, but that's just me. Whatever. At the end of the day, fun is what matters. Fun is important. If you have fun playing Bruiser, play Bruiser. If you have fun playing Lethality, play Lethality. I think it is ignorant and stupid to sit down and say Lethality is better than Bruiser. Bruiser is better than Lethality. No context, always true. It's not true. They both have different playstyles and different jobs in League of Legends and in a game. What I do believe is true is that for low elo, Bruiser will be better most of the time. Majority of the time it will be better. Is it gonna be better 100% of the time, all the time, every game? No. Maybe a Aatrox player in low elo prefers playing with lethality. That is also fine. Maybe you play better with lethality even in low elo. Sure. I'm just giving you my observative opinion of how I see low elo. I think Bruiser would be better. But at the end of the day, play whatever is fun. Play attack speed if you want to. I don't care. But yeah. I just was yapping a lot this video, so I think that's it for today. I guess this is like a mini guide, actually. 41 minutes. I'm gonna cut it down, I think, a little bit, or maybe even not. I don't know. Regardless, I hope this video helped you understand lethality a bit better. I'm gonna be playing more lethality in the future, just so I can have a better understanding. And let me correct myself. Lethality is trash, but it's good. Bruiser is good, but it's trash. Okay? Alright. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me if I forgot something. Tell me if you have a different question. I might answer it. Yeah, thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys on stream or in the next YouTube video. Or anywhere else. Make sure to follow my socials. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube Shorts. Follow the podcast channel with me and Spearshot. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me home when I came from the supermarket. Okay, follow me. All right. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Peace.